Russia's military buildup in the Arctic is unprecedented. The U.S. has one icebreaker that works in comparison to Russia has 40, and they're building 11 right now. With that said, the U.S. is considering building another one, but thinks that $1 billion is just too much money. Yet, it's okay to spend $10 billion a year on stratosphere aerosol injections, and that's relatively inexpensive, according to the director of a very prestigious organization. So, 40 icebreakers, ladies and gentlemen, in the Arctic. What does that mean to you? So what? Well, let me put it to you this way. You need to read this article on foreignpolicy.com. Here's what Russia's military buildup looks like in the Arctic compared to the U.S. I mean, it's not even in the same league. The difference in comparison to hardware out there, and not to mention, Russia, those guys are used to being in the cold. I mean, think of Siberia, think of that neck of the woods, and they're definitely built and fine-tuned to that area. So when you look at the article on Fox Trotalpha, FOXTROTALPHA.JALOPNIK.com, I'll leave the link in the video description box. Russia's icebreakers make it king of the Arctic, and America is just a pauper. Most media coverage has been trained on Russia's involvement in Syria, but Moscow is quietly beating America in a turf war on top of the earth, the Arctic Circle. Right now, Russia stands as the foremost military and exploration leader in the region. It has 40 icebreakers, huge ships designed to push through ice-covered waters for safe passage, allowing other vessels to go behind them. 11 are currently in production. By comparison, America has one, the Polar Star, that is operational. The other one is broken. Russia has 6 military bases, 16 deep water ports, and 13 air bases. Protecting these bases are S-400 long-range surface-to-air missiles. By comparison, the U.S. has no major military bases north of the Arctic Circle. Now, this information was brought to my attention by a very intelligent person with a very honorable job in Alaska. I met him at X Point, the X-Fest event. And living in Alaska, he said he's just a very short distance away from Russia, and he's been following the buildup with Russia and their icebreakers, their equipment, their military, etc. That is very it's highly concentrated on that part of the world. So, should we be nervous by this buildup? Should the U.S. be looking for ways to offset this? Or is this one part of the world that the U.S. has finally just said, you know what, okay. Now, how much of that stuff that you hear about what was that project or that in Antarctica where supposedly the U.S. went in there and there was some German base and they kicked the crap out of the military so the Americans didn't go back? I don't have any verification on that. Now, I've talked to people that said that's true, that we're in the military. I still can't confirm it. 40 icebreakers, soon to be 51, compared to our 1. And then I think about the possibilities of what could happen if we go into another global cooling period and certain parts of the world become extremely difficult to traverse through unless you have these icebreakers. I mean, definitely the king of the block in that area. So I'll leave the links for these videos in the video description box. Let me show you another thing here. Here's a map. This is the most recent map I could find. I'll leave the link as well. This is from 2009, though. And the other maps that I found were from like 2002 or older. But this will show you a list of the different bases. And you can see there's full-time bases out there year-round. We've got Korea, Argentina, Poland, Brazil, Chile, Spain, Bulgaria, bunch Russia, France. Now, let's say that there are some soon to be, in the overall scheme of things, let's say the next 10, 20, 50 years, that due to weather changes, man-made and non-man-made, geoengineering, etc., maybe Antarctica is going to be a very habitable area that would be like the U.S. is now. And you look at the Deagle reports showing that with the information they put together, they think about 25 million people are going to be in America by the year 2025. There's a lot going on, folks. I think that South Dakota is a pretty good place to be in a very rough situation if government shuts down and if you can't go to the grocery store and get supplies. Because I'm telling you, when I came back from South Dakota and I stopped outside of Dallas for a minute in a gas station to get some fuel, and there was like 8 people in line. There was 3 people that were working there. Only one person was working the cash register. And the person working the cash register was speaking Spanish to the other 2 workers there that weren't really doing anything, even though there was 8 people in line. And every other word was a swear word. Because I know the swear words in Spanish, and I can pick up a little bit of it, being in San Antonio. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you guys are making fun of us here in line speaking Spanish, not doing any work, really. I mean, as little work as possible, while 2 of you aren't doing anything. One of you's working the register while 8 people are in line. I finally get to the cash register about 6 or 7 minutes after waiting in line. And then the gal puts my stuff in the sack. It was a water and some mints. Puts it in the plastic bag by her and doesn't even so I had to reach over the counter to grab it and then leave the store. I mean, that's the mentality of many people in these big cities. And one thing I'll tell you is, you guys know, I could care less where you come from. It's who you are as a person. I am still to this day shocked at how much prejudice, how much racism there is towards Caucasians here in Texas. It's unbelievable. And I remember going to a coffee shop last year, and the person working behind the counter wouldn't even look at me because of the color of my skin. I finally just left. It is unbelievable how people still have that mindset. And if you hate America that much, why are you here? I don't get it. It's like, yeah, cool, be pro-Mexico, be pro-Jamaica, be pro-Afghanistan, be pro-Siberia, be pro wherever you're from. That's cool. Yet, why attack the place you're living in? It's like sitting there biting the hand that feeds you. Oh, where I'm from so much better, but I'm here now, and you can kiss my butt. And I'm gonna make fun of you in my native language because you don't understand me completely. Ha ha. Híjole. Híjole, senors and senoritas. And then I have some awesome friends that are from Mexico that are Spanish, that are amazing people. It's like, I don't get it. It's like we're in 2017 now. You'd think that we could move on with where somebody was born. I mean, who cares? I don't care where you're born. Doesn't matter. Who are you as a person? It's just getting more and more uncomfortable to leave my house here in San Antonio. And I was thinking to myself, where am I going with this? I was talking about South Dakota and X-Fest and X-Point, being out there and then coming back and stopping at the gas station, the way I was treated. Imagine being in a big city when there could be rolling blackouts or martial law, or you can't get money out of the ATM, or just a systematic collapse of functioning government. And people just start having to fend for themselves, and they think that the only way to do that is to go out and rob, cheat, and steal because they didn't prepare. Do you want to be in a big city? I mean, my goodness, people won't even respect you when you go to a store or their business of work. Imagine what happens when They feel it's free reign to do what they want, and they see you've got something. I think being off the grid or having a situation where you could live outside of a big city in case something goes down and you could get there, you're going to be in a much better area. Let things cool off. Let those that didn't prepare go and run amok, and then when all that cools off, and a lot of those people probably won't be around several months down the road. I mean, it'll just be chaos. Then you can kind of go outside your stomping ground a little bit, the area way off the grid, and explore a little bit again. But until then, maybe it's a good idea to have a place off the grid. And it's amazing some of the things people say about this South Dakota location. Oh, they used to store military munitions out there. Yes, they did. Oh, that's a bad place to be because Russia would nuke that place first in case of a war. That would be one of the last places Russia would nuke, in my opinion, because it's a decommissioned facility. There's nothing there of importance anymore. And then, well, that's where the government would go round everybody up. That's the last place the government would go round people up because they're going to be taking care of big cities first. That place is so far out in the middle of nowhere. It's hundreds of miles away from Yellowstone. It's enormous. It is huge. I mean, you go to that area, good luck finding where somebody is. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these concrete bunkers. So, what's your solution? What do you have in mind? People, that's going to be your coffin. Well, how do you know? What are you doing to prepare? Are you doing anything or just bitching on the internet? Probably in an apartment somewhere, living around 100 people in boxes that are next to boxes that are next to boxes that are 500 square feet. I know people that pay thousands of dollars for insurance every single year. And they don't want to use that insurance. I mean, think about it. Insurance isn't fun to use. Well, what have you done for tangible type insurance to prepare for a bad situation? People are like, well, I just want to go out quickly. Well, what if you don't? It's just, you've always got Debbie Downer. You've always got somebody that's an expert that's like, oh man, that's the first place they're going to throw a nuclear bomb. In the middle of nowhere, South Dakota. That just makes total sense. Because 50 years ago, it was a military facility. Now it's like a ghost town. I mean, they're probably going to go after highly populated areas or strategic locations where there's still military equipment. This place is a long way away from a nuclear reactor. This place is a long way away from industrial complexes. So if you're interested in checking it out, go to terravivos.com. You can see the map, you can see the outline, you can see what these things look like. Plus, I've done podcasts on the area, doing a tour of the facility. And leave the code LEAKPROJECT. If you purchase one, you get an opportunity to pick up a water filtration system, a solar generator, or a wind turbine. If you just want to check them out, let them know that you heard about them with Leak Project. That way they know how you found them. And also, we're going to be doing another event here in a couple of months out there, and an event for Sturgis. So if you have a motorcycle and you want to be a couple hours away from Sturgis, you don't want to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a night to stay close to Sturgis, plus have an awesome 2-hour motorcycle drive to get there, well, here you go. Send me an email. Use the code LEAKPROJECT, TerraVivos. If you send me an email, guestbookings@leakproject.com. If you go to terravivos.com, let Robert, the CEO, know that you heard about them through Leak Project. That also helps us out. In return, we can help you out, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you information, cutting-edge news, and data. And we really need to keep an eye on this stuff because think about this, 51-1 ratio, icebreakers. Wow. It's like giving up. It's like, you win, okay. We're going to go spend our money on F-35s that pilots pass out when they're piloting them. A $1 trillion deal. Trillions of dollars. That's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money to spend $1 billion on an icebreaker. I mean, come on. Also, check out the Quick Bivvy. I'll leave a link in the video description box. These Quick Bivvies fit in the palm of your hand, and if you need one of a couple of items that could help save your life if you get into a situation where you need to stay warm, this thing is awesome. It's a few ounces. So I'll leave the link in the video description box. Leakproject.com, youtube.com/clandestine time lord. Also, check out getthetea.com. I've been taking this stuff called colostrum, and it is amazing. It is way better than coffee. My food digests better, and I have more energy, and I really feel good. It's a good quality product, especially if there's people out there that have problems with their stomach and digestive problems. This is something you might want to consider. Question everything and be the change you want to see. I'll leave the link in the video description box. Russia's icebreakers make it king of the Arctic, and America is just a pauper. Most media coverage has been trained on Russia's involvement in Syria, but Moscow is quietly beating America in a turf war on top of the earth, the Arctic Circle. Right now, Russia stands on foreignpolicy.com. Here's what Russia's military buildup looks like in the Arctic compared to the U.S. I mean, it's not even in the same league. The difference in comparison to hardware out there, and not to mention, Russia, those guys are used to being in the cold. I mean, think of Siberia, think of that neck of the woods, and this is just too much money. Yet, it's okay to spend $10 billion a year on stratosphere aerosol injections, and that's relatively inexpensive, according to the director of a very prestigious organization. So, 40 icebreakers, ladies and gentlemen, in the Arctic. What does that mean to you? So what? Well, let me put it to you this way. You need to read this article on Russia's military buildup in the Arctic is unprecedented. The U.S. has one icebreaker that works in comparison to Russia has 40, and they're building 11 right now. With that said, the U.S. is considering building another one, but thinks that $1 billion, they're definitely built and fine-tuned to that area. So when you look at the article on Fox Trotalpha, FOXTROTALPHA.JALOPNIK.com,